Guys, I have this business idea, but I need some help with it. I don't know how to follow through with it. You guys have any advice?
Have you talked to your parents or whatever? They probably should tell you what to do, right?
Nah,
Just listen to them.
I mean, I went to college. I have a whole PhD. I'm a meteorologist. I hate my job. I hate my life. So you should figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. At 18 to start a business, that's super expensive. I don't think you have it really in you.
I mean, just go on Instagram Reels. I mean, you can figure it out.
You should start. You should
you
start
should
selling
really get on
drugs or
that,
something.
man.
Because
Get on this.
I
You
mean,
can't do
you
this,
should
man.
really get
What are
on
you
top
doing?
of this.
Your sphere of influence is very impactful to who you become. Check out this episode.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Ignite Podcast. I'm here with Brady, Reggie, and Steve, and let's jump right into it.
All right, perfect. Hey, why don't we start off with I learned a long time ago that it's okay to approach the table amongst certain people. But what I mean by that is we want to share good news, right? And you have to be careful who you share good news with. All right, so we're going to go around the table, and we'll start off with Micah. Micah, why don't you share a win? Give me something good.
Sure. This past week I did secure my job as a door knocker, so that is going door to door, asking questions about whether it be a bill going on in the government or whatever, or a policy that's being put in place, and we're just asking questions to record data, and so that really I think that's one of the best jobs I think for me, because that will really build my confidence with people, and being able to talk and dealing with rejection, and so I think it'll really help boost my communication skills. So I'm really excited for that.
That's awesome. All right, Brady, why don't you share one of your wins?
Sure. I've been writing music and doing well in school. And the music part, I've been writing down a lot of lyrics that mean a lot to me. And that's why I'm writing music, because I think it's a way of getting something out that you want to be heard. And I just think it's been going really well.
Okay, good. Now, is it what it's similar to writing poetry, right?
Yeah.
So you have to write a whole bunch of poems to come up with a really good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, do you destroy the things you've been writing down, or you kind of put it into a bin that come back to later?
I have, yeah. It's I write some down and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound very good. And I just flip the next page and I get bored and lay my head down in school. I've been writing in school. That's what I've been doing in study hall. And yeah, I just get bored, but I'm not stopping. Every day I'm going back to it. Good.
Right. Do you have a girlfriend yet? Because as soon as you get a girlfriend, then you'll start, and then she breaks your heart. The lyrics, you will not be able to stop them, my friend.
Yeah, that's why I'm writing music. To kind of heartbreak songs, but it's, like I said, more getting something out that has to be heard.
Mm-hmm. I love it. All right, Reggie, on to you. Give me a win.
All right, so I made it through the school week, and it's been a long week, but it's been pretty good. Long, tiring, but you know what? Last year, school, at least high school, and then I'm almost done. And I finally finished my first song after a while. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not really the same thing as Brady. It's more just an instrumental type, because I'm trying to learn how to produce. But it's been pretty good. I actually switched softwares, which kind of delayed the process. But this, whatever program I'm using, the program I'm using now actually has a lot more accessible plugins and stuff like that. So I think it'll work a lot better for me.
Fantastic. Right?
Yeah.
What I find interesting is, and I wonder if you would agree, is lyricists, is that what you would call them? Lyricists need music producers. What's a music producer called? Is there another name for it?
I mean, you can go audio engineer.
Okay, so an audio engineer, someone who comes up with beats, oftentimes needs a lyricist, right? I think that's why there's a big mesh in the music industry, right? And then someone has to sit on the techie side to make sure you all sound good, which is this cool thing in the middle here, this monitor, right? Yeah, we got all we got everything that slide up and slide down, more drum, less cymbal, all this kind of stuff. I think the whole process of creating music is fascinating to me. I have no idea how to do it. I do know I have 3 hits in me though. I got lyrics that are phenomenal. I don't know what to do with them. So you know what they do? They just sit in a box. All right, so I want to, as we progress through this podcast here, your sphere of influence. You are being influenced every day by all kinds of different things, okay? And I want to talk about those things that are influencing us. Because if you're just kind of walking through life and someone says, you're being influenced by something, okay. But if you actually sit down and really think about the potential things that are really influencing you, there's actually a pretty decent list. Now, I created this little paper, and we're going to kind of talk about it a little bit. So as we go through this little short list here, I want to know specifically from each one of you who negatively, legit negatively influences you. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think friends really negatively influence you. I mean, like, they can crack jokes that are offensive, and they can get you in trouble in school, and they can, like, get you in detentions, but anyway, like that. And another one, I think, is music, definitely. And I'm going into a music career, and I think the songs you listen to, you kind of base your life on their lyrics, like, and you kind of, like, start to act like them. And I don't know, I think it's not good for your life. It's not good for your mental state. And Michael, what about you?
Yeah, like you said with friends, I think that friends are one of the most important people in our lives because that's mostly who we surround ourselves with. That's who we tell our personal lives with. That's who we share information that we wouldn't share to any other person. You know, so having great friends, having good friends that you know you can trust and you can tell anything to is really important. So I'm glad you pointed out that not all friends are good influences on us, which is why we have to be careful with who we surround ourselves with. One of my negative influences is definitely social media. I think I can speak for everybody when I say that social media is not the best influence on us when it comes to scrolling, Instagram for 5 hours a day, or, looking at posts of people with these perfect lives. That's all they want you to see. They want you to see the front page, the front cover, them looking their best. You know what I mean? But I think it negatively influences us in a way where we feel like we have to be perfect, and everything that we have to everything that we post, has to be perfect, showing us in our best lives without, really showing what goes on negatively behind. It's all just so sometimes it feels like just like fake to me sometimes. But
You're right.
Yeah. What about you, Reggie?
That's a good one. So I was going to go also to the music side of it because I feel like there's a lot of good influences in music, but at the same time, there's also a lot of bad ones. And I feel like listening to like X, which I love X, but at the same time, he has some depressing songs. And I feel like those can kind of make you spiral and make you think things that aren't true. Like some songs say you're not good enough or stuff like that when you are, and things like that. I think like social media is a really bad one for me. I think that's kind of had me spiral a lot in the past few years. I got social media a long time ago. So I think that kind of over the years kind of made me like realize a lot of stuff way too early, which I think that's a bad influence. I think a lot of the ones that we've already said kind of covered what my bad influences are, but there's definitely a lot of things personally that has happened that I know of from all these things: social media, friends, music, all these things tie into one brain that's all kind of fell apart, but also has to make you realize like they aren't true and the things they say aren't true.
Yeah, I think that proves the point that I tried to make, that all of us share that feeling that social media was introduced to us at such a young age that it kind of makes it impossible for us to not be influenced by social media because of how much we scroll on it. So I think really being aware and figuring out that this is all a problem we have is something that we can use to build, off and get better together as a whole, because I think the friendship that we have right now is a positive one. Like you said you have negative friends that negatively influence you.
Yes.
But if you surround yourself with that positive influence, I think it really helps, because I think in this space we are, much more creative. We work together, like a team, a perfect team, and I think that's a really good example of positive, friend influence in our lives.
All inspired.
Is your sphere of influence a good thing, or is it holding you back? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think my sphere of influence has gotten better over the years. At one point, it was definitely not that good at all. I think in the past, I've had friends that were just like messed up and didn't do good things. But I think now, as I've gotten older, I kind of learned to cut those people out. And then my friends right now are actually really good. My parents are really supportive. I think like everything around me is just kind of going towards the right direction. As far as like my relationship with God, I think it's actually growing a lot better now. I know a few years ago it was like on and off, but now it's actually pretty steady now. I think that will help me in the long run. I think it's actually pushing me farther now, not even in the future, but just now, like in general. So, what do you think, Micah?
That's great. I think the same thing with you. But I think sometimes it does hold me back a little bit, because, if I expand my sphere, I might reach people who could influence me in ways that I've never expected and provide perspectives that I never would have guessed I would have considered. So in a way, it is helping me, but sometimes I feel like if I break out of that sphere and introduce new influence into my life, like when I joined the Ignite program, I feel like that broke the sphere and that opened a new pathway to more influence that I'm so glad to be a part of. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like the people around you really like influence your life, and how, like let's say in school, like I think I already said it about like friends in school, but like if you're in a class and your friends are joking around, then you're gonna want to joke around with them, and you're not gonna really like do good in school. That really like relates to me because it happens to me, and yeah, my sphere of influence. I think it's gotten better over the years. And I've really gotten a better relationship with God, and I've social media has helped me. I know it's a negative thing sometimes, but I think it's influenced me to talk to others and like contact them, and it's gotten me into my music career. I mean, it's helping me with writing music, and I think like watching people that are inspired by music, it's like helping me grow.
Yeah, I think definitely, social media, I think personally is doing more bad than good, but there's definitely positive aspects to social media, like you stated. There's bands across the world that you would have no idea about if there wasn't social media, and now you have access to those, so you learn more about music. You can there's so much more you could do with social media. You could message people who know more about music and reach out to people who could help you along your journey, and same with you, Reggie. So I think there's definitely a positive side to social media, so people shouldn't take it all as bad things, because there is positive stuff around.
I just wanted to say, I think music isn't completely negative, because I think music can help me express my emotions, not through like anger or violence, but through like just expressing myself through the lyrics and music that I create.
Exactly.
And I think that it can really help, especially just listening to it too. Sometimes like I've been through stuff where it's like I'm like hurt, and it's like some of these like songs just really relate to what I'm going through, and I feel like that can really help a lot too.
Yeah, I think music really balances the mood. Like
if I'm like pissed off, like just put on some
rock
Drowning
music, some
Pool.
heavy.
Yeah, put on some Disturbed, and it'll make my day better.
Just rock it out. Yeah, I feel like music can totally change your mood. Like you can feel one way, and then you listen to a song and it totally changes how you feel about the situation. And I think that's what's so powerful about it, because like especially with gospel music, I find when I'm in church and I hear that music playing, it just it's almost like I'm transported to another world. Like my mindset totally changes, and I'm so focused on what I'm doing that I'm just in the zone, and music really helps you get there, and I feel like it really is beneficial sometimes.
That's how I feel about like sports. Like you got to play that one song before I get into a basketball game.
Before
I play my 2 minutes a game, I need to play that song. All right.
Yeah, when I'm working out, put on "Cut the Cord." I don't know if you guys know that song. You should check it out, but it gets me going.
Yeah, it's true. Listening to songs during a workout can definitely motivate you and influence you. So.
But then also, like, if you're like sad, it can like really like impact your life in like a negative way. Like, I think like heartbreak songs are good to listen to, but they make you sad, and I don't think it's a good thing to listen to. Like if you're having a bad day, I think like a positive song is good to listen to, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think when I'm sad, it's weird, because when you're sad, you don't look to a positive song to listen to. You usually listen to music that's more, sadder. And I think that's because we try to match our emotions with the music that we're listening to, because it balances out or equalizes us or some sort of way, harmonizes us in some way. So I think music is important and kind of determines how we feel sometimes. I think.
Yeah, Reggie, how's it going with your soundboards and stuff?
That's pretty good actually. Like I said, I finished my first song. It's not good at all, but it's the first song. I'll take it. It's been pretty good. I've been taking classes at school because we actually have like an audio engineering tech and production class, so it's been pretty fun. Yeah, I'm learning how to use soundboards, how to like use all the buttons. There's like a million buttons on here. Actually, it's not that confusing. Actually, it's like one button for each channel. It's not that hard. But anyway,
I think we need you though because I have no idea.
no,
what
yeah,
I'm doing here.
but you definitely need to learn the basics. But once you learn the basics, it's all the same. It's like mute button 10 times. That's pretty much it. But
Yeah.
it's fun. I like it. Then you learn the systems and stuff. Like right now, I'm using Reaper, and it's actually like it's expensive. Like music in general is gonna be expensive, but it's only like $60 for Reaper for a personal license. So it actually isn't too bad. And I've been learning a lot. I've been learning how to use plugins and learning how to use like produce my own music. I also have a lot of friends that actually play music, so I can actually invite them over and you could probably learn how to record. I actually finally learned how to record stuff. Yay! So yeah, I can invite people over and like do stuff now. So that'd be fun.
Hey, you need a vocalist, you know who to call.
That'd be cool.
There you go, right here.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Community, a
Mhm.
circle of influence.
Yep.
It's awesome.
We talked a little bit about the negative influences in our lives. It becomes a little more obvious when you start talking about it, right? Like, I am actually affected by it. If I'm sad and I listen to a sad song, it makes you sadder, right? If you're happy and you're dancing and you want to listen to dance music, right? Don't play the sad stuff. We're all dancing. The lights are going, right? That makes sense to me. So we are influenced, absolutely. You know, you go to an inspiring movie, and you walk out like, I'm going to conquer the world, right? If it's a movie about overcoming or something like that, Rocky, for instance, you know, if you've all seen Rocky, you know, down in his luck and comes back and it's like a feel good, right? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit very specifically about. I know you mentioned like Ignite has opened up the door to you and brought that to light. Like there are ways to get positive influences, but is there anyone in your life right now that is, Reggie? We'll start with you. Who in your life is really positively influencing you?
Right now in my life, I feel like my mom is like a really big part because she's like, honestly, it sounds kind of cliche right now, but like, she's honestly like probably the most supportive person right now with like all my goals. Because like, you know, usually when people say like, I want to go into a music major, that doesn't make money. That's not really good, or that's really hard, or that takes a long time to develop. But she's like fully on board. She's like, oh well, I can take you to this college. You have the best like audio program, all this stuff. So I feel like she's kind of been like showing me a lot of stuff. Also like just parents in general. My parents in general are like really good right now. Like they're like looking at marketplace like, hey, do you want to buy this thing? Do you want to buy that thing? They can help you out with your music. I feel like they've kind of like they're trying to elevate me right now. So I feel like that's really good.
That's great, right? I sat down with a young couple and I asked as a general question for my other business, I get to know them. And a great way to get to know them is ask them what they do for a living, because that's most of their life, right? I asked him and I said, okay, what do you do for a living? He's like, well, I'm going to school to be a lawyer. And the way he said it just seemed down, right? It just it did not make sense to me. And because of my experience, I immediately thought, well, what is it that you want to do? And he's like, I actually want to be a photographer, but my parents are making me be a lawyer. So that's influence, in my opinion, in a terrible way. Because when we talk about influence, our friends sometimes tease us and it kind of derails us a little bit. But our parents, although they have good intentions, they're actually hurting us. Right? How good of a lawyer do you think he's going to be? Probably going to be terrible, because he's forced to do it. I wouldn't want to hire a guy like that. I want someone who wants to be a lawyer, who looks for the loopholes, is intentional about it. Right? You'd probably be a great photographer. Why don't you go do that? Make money at it, right? But the parents don't want to say, oh, yeah, my son's a photographer. They want to say, my son's a lawyer, because they get status in that. What a terrible thing, right?
And one funny like kind of thing is that my stepdad actually he wants to like he's been waiting like 40 years to be a DJ and stuff like that, and he's always been told like no, don't do it because it doesn't make any money. In his 40s, he finally took the step to start like doing stuff like that. So now he's like working with me and like learning how to use all this audio stuff, and he's actually like learning how to use soundboards and stuff too. So we can actually learn together, which is kind of fun because he's waited this long. Now he can finally use it. Now he has someone to talk to about it with. He's
Right.
excited.
And talking about like a father-son bonding moment. What if you guys created the #1 hit together, right? I think that's fantastic. Micah, who positively influences you?
Yeah, I think a big one that I wasn't even expecting was my English teacher, because I know a lot of people personally, I've had a lot of bad teachers in the past, and a lot of negatively influencing teachers. But, you know, it was like August. I'm gonna tell a little story, but it was August of this year, and I skipped the first day of school, so because I had a doctor's appointment, of course, so at the worst time possible.
I remember that.
Yeah, but so I walk into the school the second day of school, and I I waltz into fourth period, and I sit down in my chair, and the teacher walks in, and he's this bald, tall guy, classic like English teacher, kind of, sort of, that you'd expect. And he starts talking about his past, and he's ex-military, so I'm thinking, he's going to be super strict, and we're not going to be able to talk at all. And but over the course of days, he'd have a daily message from this book written by Epictetus, and I didn't know who Epictetus was, and I didn't know that he had such good lessons to tell, because every day he would give a new lesson, a new life skill that I wouldn't consider before addressing, but when he explained it to us, it really helped me realize, like, okay, this is something I need to consider. And I've been noticing more and more throughout the year that I take those stories that he tells and I apply it to my life, and I've been really noticing a positive impact. So he went from this person who I thought was going to be super strict, and he is sometimes, towards the students that talk and bicker, which I respect that, and I think that's very important. But throughout the stories that he's told, I've really took those into my own life, and I've learned how to apply them, and it's actually helped me a ton. So that's a really unexpected influence that I've had that has positively influenced me in a way that I really wouldn't ever think it could.
Mm-hmm.
So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Brady, close us out with that one.
It's gotta be my mom and dad. I mean, they've done everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they get me through school, they get me through my life, and they make me see the daylight every day. I mean, they make me happy. My dad makes me happy. My mom makes me happy. They take me out to places. I just appreciate them so much.
We have all these influences kind of coming into us, right? And also a mentor can influence you, but mentors won't seek people out. You can seek a mentor. So if you were to seek a mentor, where do you think you could use the best benefit? Do you have a name for this person? Because I've learned valuable lessons that I have several mentors in my life that I reach out to them, right? I need your help with something. Can I buy you lunch? And I've never been turned down once, not once, because when I put myself in that position, I'd like to learn something from you. Okay? No, I haven't asked 100 people, so I imagine eventually you'll get a no. But and it might be just being too busy, or they don't like you. Okay, let's just be honest. But are there any mentors for you, Reggie, that you think you could reach out to that might help change your life?
Yeah, so actually, one of my mom's friends who she went to college with is actually a music producer who's worked with some pretty famous people. He's worked with Mary, I forgot all the names, but he's worked with a lot of people. And I've talked to him every now and then, but I'll every now and then I'll call him up and see he'll give me tips and stuff. So I think that's a really good relationship to build, because he's already in the business. He already knows a lot of people. If maybe one day he can set me up or something, I don't really know. But he's just really he's always said he'll show me everything and stuff like that. He lives, I forgot where he lives. He doesn't live here, but he definitely maybe one day I'll see him and then we can work together one day.
Love it. Micah, who?
Yeah, I have this friend that I have in math class that I've learned bits and pieces of him, that he's, he works at an auto shop, and he's worked on cars for, as long as he can remember. And I've always looked to that as, a positive influence that I could have, as he knows way more than me than I could ever know. And I think if I sit down and talk to him more and maybe share experiences, he could share knowledge with me that would really help me in my auto shop class that I'm taking right now. So that's one of the mentors I think I could reach out to learn more about, being an auto technician.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Brady, who could you reach out to?
It's got to be my favorite musician, Brent Smith. I mean, I'd love to meet him one day. I'd love to meet a whole band, Shinedown. And he knows a lot about writing music. He's very, very talented, very successful. And I think if I ask him, like you said, I know you told me one day, write him a note. Write him a letter saying, how do you do all this? And write me back.
So this letter that you would write, what would you expect from this letter? What would be awesome?
I think it'd be good, he shows me, all these equipment and what I could use and how to write music and, how to write, a good song. Like I'm saying, I don't make the greatest songs yet. And I think if he shows me the ways of finding people and getting out there, then I think I'll become a great musician.
Fantastic. I love it. We're going to wrap up this particular episode. Hopefully it's a short one and you enjoyed it. And it's all about sphere of influence. You have a sphere of influence. Acknowledge it and use it to your advantage. Would everyone agree?
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you. That was good. I like that.
That was a good one.
That felt more
All
personal.
right, Micah, you cannot smile at me because it makes my brain shut down. Because you tend.
It was a little smirk.
The smirk even kills me because I see it in your eyes too. Maybe I just can't look at you.
Now I'll just look away. I'll do this every time you talk.
I'll just look at Steve the entire time.
But it'll be fun, guys. Make sure to tune in for next video. I'm rambling again.
Oh, that was good.
No.
Great. Don't put
I felt like I was rambling.
I'm like, all you gotta do is join the battalion.
All right.
Oh,
Hey guys, I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching that video. We had a lot of fun filming it. I want you guys to tune in next time because we're gonna have a lot more information and a lot more fun. I want you guys to go down below to the description. We have our socials down there. You guys can follow us on all platforms. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun, impactful life, and join the battalion.
The school system failed me because I have Enterman Airbud.
that's maybe a little too fast.
You have what?
Enterman.
You have what?
I think it said, what is it called?
Entrepreneur.
But it continued the word on the bottom.
Right.
Oh, he's reading from the script.
Yeah.
The school system failed me because I have intrepid blood. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right because it goes intrepid blood.
Yeah.
So it's like.
The process has taken me over 9 years to develop. Some of the graduates I have decided